To make the presentation on behalf of the group is Mr. Kwadwo Nsafoah Poku.
All right, thank you. As you've seen the way the DMB manifesto is set up and how we want to present it, we told you how we're going to get you a roof over your head. When you have a roof over your head, you now tell you how you're going to eat. So Agric has done its roof over your head. Then the next thing is energy. We realize that the energy sector is by far one of the most important sectors that we have in Ghana today. The upstream provides the funding for the social and infrastructure programs that we have in Ghana. The downstream is our petroleum products, which mostly everybody knows that when the price of petroleum products goes up, it affects food, it affects everything that we have in the country. And it also goes to reduce what you call disposable income, which is the small money you have in your pocket after you've paid off all the things you have. When we look at the power sector is a difference between a president doing 4 terms, a president doing 4 years, and a president doing 8 years. We all know what we are talking about here when the power sector is not the way it's supposed to be. Then we look at how Dr. Bawumia wants to address this. We want to reduce the cost of living. And in the MPP manifesto, we have decided to do that with 4 pillars: affordability, accessibility, reliability, and quality. Okay, so let's take affordability. Now, we all know that when electricity prices go up, it becomes a challenge for everybody. So the leadership of Dr. Bawumia has proposed to introduce 2,000 megawatts of solar. The 2,000 megawatts of solar will go a long way to basically help us with the growth that we have year on year in the energy sector. Because if you do not plan to increase your power generation, you get to the point where you do not have enough generation capacity in the country. But what is the difference with going solar? As we've all heard Dr. Bawumia said over and over, we have to move away from oil and gas and go with solar. Solar is, the sun is there, it's free. Now, the biggest challenge we have is that the thermal that we have is 73% generation. Our generation mix is made up of the hydro, thermals, and some solar, about 134 megawatts of solar. But in large, 73% of our generation today is with thermal. And the huge cost that goes into the thermal is your gas and your HFO liquid fuel. If we are able to now have a generation mix that is heavily on solar, as we've always heard, we can reduce the cost of electricity as low as 50%. So that goes towards the affordability of what Dr. Bawumia is trying to do, which is bringing in the 2,000 megawatts to help us with what? Affordability. Then we go to the second policy that we have, which is we want to develop a framework to set aside cheaper fuel for industries. We have a lot of industries that are not doing well in Ghana because the energy cost is high. If we go solar and we're able to get solar at 6 cents as compared to today, thermal at about 12 to 13 cents, then we're able to give some cheaper power to the industries. Now, if you're looking at the lithiums, you're looking at manganese, allied, all these companies are coming in and they're looking at 2 cents, 3 cents at most for power. So we can give some of that Kosombo generation, which is hydro, which is around 3 cents, to the new emerging technology. We have a lot of manufacturing that we want to promote in Ghana. Dr. Bawumia has a policy that says, buy Ghana first. For us to make what? Ghana produce, our made in Ghana goods effective, cheaper, we need to give them what? Affordable power. So by giving affordable power, ring fencing a certain amount of cheap electricity for these industries, we tend to what? Grow our industries, bring a lot of growth, and that also go in a long way, not only reducing the cost of living by doing what? Making sure that a lot of youth get jobs. So the affordability side, which is ring fencing a certain amount of electricity for industries, also will help to promote industry and bring jobs, and makes us pay less for electricity. We pay less for electricity, all the rest is history. Everybody knows that we can now have a reduced cost of living. The third part of the affordability is petroleum. The energy sector deals with energy, which is power, deals with energy, which is petroleum. When petroleum prices go up, we all feel it. When electricity prices go up, we all feel it. we introduced G4O, gold for oil policy, which helped a lot. A lot of people don't understand how the gold for oil helped. I will take a minute to explain. We have something called the supplier's premium. We have the cost of the product, which we can't do anything about because it's a world market price. But when the OTC, the oil trading company, is bringing that product into Ghana, there is a supplier's premium that they add. In the past, before gold for oil, there's only a few companies that were bringing products into Ghana. So nobody locally has a say on how much the supplier's premium is. With the introduction of gold for oil, the supplier's premium went down as low as from $120 to $30 per metric ton. So it means that today, if there were no gold for oil, the supplier's premium will still be high. We've only gotten about 30% market share for gold for oil. The manifesto seeks to expand gold for oil so that we will now creep up into about 60% of market share, so we can now bring a lot more cheaper products into the market and basically help to drive down the supplier's premium further. Reliability. We all want our lights to be on. What we don't want is to go back into the era of doomsday. So the 2,000 megawatts that we intend to bring will help to basically make sure that the installed capacity in the country is there. So we can have reliable power, affordable power. Then we all want quality. Now, to get quality, the person who gives us the electricity, the retail end, is ECG. We all have complaints when we go to the ECG customer service and we are not happy. Your metering is not working, people can't get meters, people go to report faults and nobody comes to it. So the proposal from the manifesto is to now introduce what we call the retail market. The last mile of ECG will bring in what we call private sector participation, PSP, to now take up the retail part. So your metering will be done by a private company. Your customer service will be done by a private company. When we take that part away from ECG, we think that we'll be able to introduce that quality that Ghanaians deserve. Because there's no point trying to live a good life and you can't now go and report and you get immediate action on the report of electricity that you have. Then we now go into accessibility. As at now, we have about 85% of electricity across the country. With the introduction of the 2,000 megawatts, we can easily go in and give Ghana 100% electricity accessibility by the end of the 4 years, because we no longer have to rely on SHEP. With the SHEP Rural Electrification Program, we need to draw the Akosombo or the thermal lines to these areas. With solar, you can do what is called off-grid solutions. So we'll go to these communities where we have the who are not on the grid and build solar for those communities to basically immediately give them electricity. Today we are talking about other things like affordability. For somebody who doesn't have electricity, cost of living is very bad. So when we're able to now improve the standard of living of these people and giving them solar, they will be able to reduce the cost of living that they have. The last point I want to make is the issue of bringing in issues that will impact the life of Ghanaians. Look, manifesto is not just about a document that nobody reads. I think Ghanaians should look at the MPP manifesto more carefully. Page 178 to some part of the manifesto talks about all the energy policies that we have. Let's not let others, introduce policies that do not solve your problems. The MPP manifesto has solutions that solves your problems, and I think you guys would make sure that you understand that policy well. Thank you very much.